All right, well, everybody, welcome back to the Fighting's Final here on the Edge of Philly Sports, with your boy Matty B on the call. And good morning, by the way, everybody who's up with me. I'm glad you stuck around for a 1-0 Phillies loss in 10 innings, and the offensive struggles continue for this team, and the horror that has been Oracle Park for this baseball club continues now. 8 losses in a row, dating back to 2022. For the Phillies in San Francisco. Just really, I mean, there's nothing much more to say about a game like this. We've seen these games before, and we haven't really seen them much this year. This is only the second time the Phillies have been shut out all season long. But it's becoming, and since the Colorado series, the offense has become an issue, and their lack of situational hitting, and their lack of just generating offense. Tonight we saw JT Realmuto extend that hitting streak to 17 games, but yet get over anxious on second base and get thrown out at third when he really should not have gone to third in that position. I mean, he wasn't forced off second. It's a tight game late. You got to try to be smarter and work some situations better than what he had there. And it was a ground ball to the shortstop. He didn't even actually look at the damn shortstop. He was going off on the pitch or on the hit, and he gets gunned down at third. And that's just one instance of just a really poor offensively executed game by this team. And yet we're still talking about some of the similar names. Nick Castellanos, again, continues to just be a liability at this point in the lineup. He got on base. He got a hit tonight, but that was it. I mean, it was very pedestrian. He struck out a couple more times. When have we seen enough of Nick Castellanos? When is that, going to be something that this team explores in going a different way for at least one game? It's just frustrating to watch a game like this, especially from the team, this year's version of the Phillies, and the way they have been playing. It's very tough to watch a game like this tonight, especially when you got to stay up to friggin' 1 a.m. In order to do a post game. But I'm here happily, and I'm glad you're here too. So before we get any further into this, let me remind everybody that this show is brought to you by the good people over at Dolan's, Philly Sports Trips, Cherry Injury Law, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, and Cherry's Tickets. I think I got them all. So, 1-0 Phillies in the 10th inning. Wow. Let's hit them up here. Elephant in the Room says flat out embarrassing. That's not the word I would use, elephant. Flat out concerning is the word I would use. Where has this offense gone? Big Al made a comment a few nights ago. Now, I guess this is going on, back in the Colorado series, but that the Phillies were dealing with the trip out to Colorado in the thin air. And I made a comment last night to him that is this now a Pacific breeze issue? I guess we're reaching for excuses and reasons about what has happened to this offense, but concerning is the word I'm going to use, not necessarily embarrassing. And of course, we're going to get to the Spencer Howard thing. Obviously, that might be where maybe you're pulling the word embarrassing. Obviously, I was thinking the same thing, that we once again turned a pitcher who's really, let's face it, man, this guy's a joke. This guy couldn't last 3 innings, and when he was here, had fatigue issues after the 3rd inning, washed out in Texas, and now he's here in San Francisco on the mound tonight throwing like friggin' Tom Glavine. And yet again, the Phillies make an also-ran look like a Cy Young Award candidate. So yeah, maybe that's embarrassing. Elephant, I'll give you that. Getting shut down by Spencer Howard is one of the lowest points I can remember over the past 2 seasons. I don't know about all that, man, but it is definitely concerning. It's concerning. Very, very concerning. Absolutely embarrassing. Star Wars says it was a game I did not like. Star Wars, I'm glad you didn't like it, because if you did like it, then we got some problems, man, because there was really nothing to like, with the exception of maybe Zach Wheeler. And I want to get into all those things because there's always positives to pull, especially from the bullpen tonight. I'm going to give them a shout out. They took us on a little journey, but they did their job. And Zach Wheeler pitched a hell of a game too, got no offensive support. And of course, Spencer Howard is the answer for the Giants. Wheeler did okay, but his pitch count, 101 pitches through 6 innings. I've never seen that before in my life. Absolutely never have seen 101 pitches through 6 innings. He labored a little bit, but he's still dominant, and that's what you got to get. So The Yankees lost. Wow, I mean, why the hell do I care about the Yankees losing? And then Al says this is ridiculous. What is ridiculous, Al? Yeah, is it the San Francisco thing? It's ridiculous. Is it the fact that the Philly offense has pretty much gone on vacation as we get ready to turn that calendar to June? Be more specific. What is ridiculous? And Jeff's pissed. Man, I thought this was going to be a show full of positivity. That's what I was gearing up for. JT extended his hitting streak. Yeah, okay, great. That's a personal record, personal thing. It's not right now. It's not factoring at all into wins. And again, I mentioned he got over anxious there on second base late in the game, where really, I don't know if he needed to be over anxious. And he put himself in a position and got gunned down going to third in a very tight game where we could not obviously get runs, where we needed base runners. We needed that. And JT did not read the room properly. He let's face it, he didn't. That's what the BCIB did tonight. He did not read the room properly, and got gunned down trying to go to third on a play where I would have liked to have that back. Go Giants. Wheeler had a good start, but we ended up taking the W. Yeah, you did. And all credit to you. The Giants are not a bad baseball team. They're not. Spencer Howard is a bad pitcher. I don't care what you say, but he is. And Phillies played down to their competition tonight, especially on the pitching side. Yep, Spencer Howard did look like he was going to win, or looked like Cy Young himself. Reincarnated, right, Jeff? He was reincarnated tonight in the body of Spencer Howard. And then 1 to 9 inning was bad. Yeah, offensively it was. Absolutely. Offensively it was pretty bad. So let's head over now and let's talk some box score stuff. All right, I'm going to leave some of this for you guys. Let's go to the box score. Let me get this disaster out of the way. I want to move on to something more. Phillies with no runs tonight, 7 hits and no errors. The Giants 1 run, 4 hits and no errors. I don't know if I'm going to waste my time going through this offensive lineup. Maybe I'll highlight some things. JT extended that hit streak, but he was 1 for 5. All right, and again he gets gunned down in a very critical position in the game. Struck out 3 times. So yeah, yay, 17 game hitting streak, but 1 for 5. I mean, I need more, especially from my number 2 hitter. Kyle Schwarber though, 2 for 4 tonight. Say what you want, man. Yeah, isn't that the way, though? We're going to get hitting from Kyle Schwarber, utilizing all the fields, utilizing singles and doubles, not homering all the time. And we're doing absolutely nothing to support that, as Kyle Schwarber has raised his average now to 241. Somebody please make a note of that. 241 in late May. That's what Kyle Schwarber's batting. Bryce Harper. I think these are the types of game where Bryce Harper looks for an umpire to argue with, maybe to take some of the pressure off himself. Bryce Harper is not playing well. He's not playing well. I'm going to say it again. He's not playing well. And he hasn't really played well all season. We talked a little bit about it a few weeks ago about how he was getting hot. No, he wasn't. Bryce Harper has not played well all season long. And I don't care what you want to tell me. You want to call me a hater? Call me a hater. But the proof is in the pudding. 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. That is not what you're paying Bryce Harper $330 million for over 7 years to do. 13 years. You're paying him to drive in runs, to hit home runs, to be a catalyst on offense. He has not done that at all this season. What's the excuse for that? I mean, are we dealing with Tommy John residue? Is that what the problem with Bryce is this year? What excuse are we giving him, Philadelphia? What excuse do you want to give Bryce Harper for not being consistent in our lineup this year? He shows flashes, yes, but he's not been consistent. And you know what? Not many people are talking about that. And more people should talk about that because Bryce Harper is not pulling his weight. Then, of course, the biggest not weight puller is Mr. Nick Castellanos, 1 for 4 with 2 more strikeouts. The average was up there over at 200 after that last at bat where he grounded out. So back down to 199. Bryson, I'm hitting 500 for the month of May. Stott 0 for 4 with a strikeout. And then your offensive powerhouse, man, Emando Sosa, 2 for 4. He's now batting 325 on the year. And then rest of it's a bunch of offers, and there's one hit, and the rest of that, and that's a hit from Rojas. So a combined 0 for 8, 0 for 8, or if you want to get even better, a combined 1 for 11 from Marsh, Clemens, and Rojas. 1 for 11, 1 for 11 from that bottom end of that lineup. And I'm not saying the top did much better, but the bottom gave you nothing tonight. Matos was 0 for 3 with an RBI. Mike Yastrzemski, most called him Carl, 0 for 3. Estrada was 2 for 4. Chapman 2 for 4. And and I guess when you only bang out 4 hits, you should lose, right? Yeah, you should lose, but that's not the case for the Giants. Phillies left 9 runners on base tonight. That's right, 9 runners were left on base for the Phillies, and they were 0 for 5. That's right, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The Giants left 8 runners on base, and they were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So the Giants had a worse statistical night, but they obviously were counted at the end with the win. The Phillies once again failed to capitalize on the little bit of offense that they could generate. They just couldn't get runners in. They couldn't get him over, and JT Realmuto didn't read the room right and got gunned down at third base. Pitching, Zach Wheeler, it's a good thing. It is 6 innings, 2 hits, gave 2 walks and 9 strikeouts for him, but 101 pitches through 6 is not a good thing. His ERA is down to 2.32. Kerkering, Alvarado, and Hoffman. I'm going to talk about Alvarado and Hoffman because, boy, I had this thing being a blowout when Alvarado came in. He was struggling, but somehow he found his way through it. Hoffman, same thing, found his way through it. And I got to give him credit. I mean, I'm not a big Alvarado or Hoffman guy, but you got to give him credit. And Matt Strahm will take the loss tonight as he was on the bump in the 10th, gave up the run to the ghost runner. So he gets the loss. He's now 3-1 for the Giants. Spencer Howard, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts. Miller, Rogers, and Hegel, the guy, also went for the Giants tonight as he gets the win. So just a frustrating night. I hear you, I feel you, and that's how you get 1-0. So just a frustrating night. And let's go back to Al's already told me and Jeff's already told me he's pissed. So let's continue on. And then Star Wars is going to throw this crappy JT extended his hitting streak. 1 for 5, and he gets gunned down at third base. Gets gunned down by third base. Did I already do all these? Yeah, what the heck am I doing, man? Why am I Phillies suck? Man, I guess I must have done all these. Oh, okay, there we go. I'm sorry, Al. It's late. They are pressing way too much. I don't, Al. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll buy that, I guess. Is it that, or is our true hitting selves coming back to earth? I mean, how long was Cody Clemens going to continue on the pace that he's on? Brandon Marsh, what's going on with him? We're not talking much about Brandon either. Bryce Harper again. I mean, is he pressing? He's been pressing all year. Is things starting to regulate now? Are people coming down to earth? We talked about this a lot during the good times last week. We were getting a lot of contributions from the bottom part of the lineup, but now we're not getting those contributions from the bottom part of the lineup. Top part of the lineup has not given us anything consistently all year. It hasn't, and now they're not giving us anything, and now the bottom's not, and now it's just kind of regulated. So I don't know if they're pressing. They may be, and that JT play might have been a direct example of that. But is this more of what they really are than them pressing? I don't know, and that's something that needs to be explored. I'm not very confident about tomorrow. Could be looking at a 4-game losing streak. Well, we got to take them one day at a time, Jeff. I'm not going to necessarily run that out, but not one run on board is embarrassing. Yeah, it's the second time all season long, Jordan, that they've gotten shut out, and it is embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. God damn it. Please sit Casty. Yeah, what is going on there, man? Somebody tell me. Somebody have the in with the Phillies and find out why, one, he has never had a day off. I mean, just out of just usage, he should have had a day off by now. Right? I mean, is this his plan, Rob Thompson's? Is this to play him out of the slump or play him into the grave, one or the other, whatever comes first? Because there's really no earthly reason why he hasn't had a day off just out of regular usage. And I get why he's not getting a day off. Rob Thompson is goddamn stubborn as hell when it comes to loyalty, when it comes to trying to prove a point or whatnot. He's going to keep him in there and keep him, chipping away. But at what point, man, do we just got to say enough's enough? He's not going to move him down the lineup. He's obviously not going to. He's not going to sit him, and he's not going to move him down the lineup. But at what point does this become kind of an exercise in ridiculousness? He's lost, man. Nick Castellanos is lost, and yet we're hurting him back out there every game, and he's like an automatic out. I hate to say that, man, but he is, and he's not getting better. He's getting worse because he's getting deeper and deeper into his head. And I don't know how much deeper he can go at this point, but sit him down just out of the pure reasoning to sit him down. Give him a day off. It's been 56 games, for God's sakes. He's earned it at that point, but it's very frustrating. And Bohm needed to play today. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he hasn't been knocking the cover off the ball in a few lately either. And why is he still playing? I don't know. Well, another loss. Phillies need to utilize the bunting method. The Padres did it in the Dodgers in the recent games. Bunting needs to become a strategy. Yeah, the Phillies actually have been bunting a lot more than they've done in the past. And I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know, man. I mean, if we're going to boil this thing down to bunting, and again, I guess it does fit the mantra of a new approach at the plate and way to generate runs. And the Phillies obviously have gotten away from that over the last 4 games or so. And I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and hang my hat on bunting as the reason why the Phillies lost this game. I got it. You got to get a run across. But I mean, where were the other 8 innings of this game, or 9 innings at this point because they didn't score in the 10th? Where were the other 9 innings where they could have scored? I mean, it goes deeper than bunting at this point. I think it really does. We can't keep losing like we are. Be more specific, Star Wars. What do you mean like we are? I mean, losing is part of this game. It's 162 of them, right? We're not going to win them all. The streak is coming, and obviously the streak is here. We're now into 4 of them, but I don't get what you mean by that. It's early May, or God, it's late May. It's late May. We're still 18-6 for the month of May. The month has been a success based on Mays of the past. It's been a success. I'm going to go out of this month thinking that the Phillies did well, regardless if they lose every game for the rest of the month. It's still a better month of May than they've had. So I don't know. What do you mean by keep losing like this? Pathetic offensive effort. Yeah, very much so. Very, very, very much so. All right. Let's head back over here. And before we jump into the Broad Street bottom line, I want to remind everybody that this show is mainly brought to you by the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar at 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA, at the Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center for breakfast, brunch, happy hour, dinner, and drinks. You don't need to look any further than the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar. We recommend it. We've been there. We've done live remotes from there, and we'll do them again. And I need you to go, and I need you to see it for yourself. It's a beautiful setup. Just a really nice, pleasant experience, pleasant environment. Make sure you check them out at 5400 Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA, at the Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center. So that is the Streetlight. All right, so let's head over to the Broad Street bottom line. All right, my Broad Street bottom line, there's 2 of them. I got bottom lines. I got multiples. So my first Broad Street bottom line is something that we've talked about on this program before and something that has plagued this team in the past, and that is making these also-ran pitchers turn in Cy Young Award performances against them when they go up against us. It's getting actually kind of comical, right? We got to do better than that. Right? We got to do better than that. Spencer Howard should not be pitching in Major League Baseball anymore. And, and there's no reason why he should have dominated the Phillies. There's no reason why any of these guys should have dominated the Phillies, right? He only went 4 innings, but he had 4 strikeouts in those 4 innings. There's no reason for that. There is absolutely no reason for that. Spencer Howard is also ran. He's a has-been. He's a never will be. And yet we made him look like Tom Glavine. And we've done that all throughout the season, throughout the years. We make these pitchers look like they are like just crazy good. And we got to stop that. That is the very definition of playing down to your competition. And the Phillies are constantly doing that. They got to stop, man. They got to get on these pitchers early. And maybe there's not enough being done with scouting. Maybe that's failing this team. Maybe there's not good enough notes being passed around the clubhouse before these games to kind of give you an idea what this pitcher's like. Maybe that's the case. Maybe someone needs to explore that. What's going on with the coaches? Are they providing the players with enough information on these pitchers? But something's got to give here. It's been a trend that's been around forever, and with this team, but it has really reared its ugly head this year. In the limited, failures that we've had, it's always been kind of that same thing, right? We let so and so, who's got a career ERA north of 11, shut us down 8 innings and 1 run. We got to stop that, man. These pitchers are bad, and let's keep them bad. And as long as the Phillies continue this kind of trend here, it's going to be a very frustrating year. And my second bottom line is, and we've talked about it all night, I've had enough, man. I've had enough of Nick Castellanos. I have had enough. And I think Nick Castellanos has had enough too. I think he needs to sit. Tomorrow will be perfect. Perfect tomorrow. Sit him down tomorrow. You got a day off Thursday. Have him just kind of like watch, kind of take it all in, maybe reprogram himself on the plane ride back to Philly, unless Al has a problem with that, because it might now be jet lag problems coming back to Philly. I don't know, Al. We're going to have to probably deal with that. So just settle down. They're going to have to fly back. They got a day off. That should be okay for Friday. I'm not thinking there's going to be a travel problem. So I think Nick Castellanos has to kind of just sit and just kind of look at the scenery for a while, because he's doing absolutely nothing in that lineup positive. So there's my Broad Street bottom line. Stop making these damn pitchers look like Cy Young, and sit Nick Castellanos, for the love of God. Sit him down. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was a lot of thought and effort went into those bottom lines tonight, man. A lot of effort. All right. Jeff says we face another lefty tomorrow. What is our record against lefties? Jeez. I know that I know they faced 12. I think tomorrow will be their 12th left-handed pitcher they faced this season. Or was that 12th? Yeah, it's pretty high. I don't know the record against lefties. It's a good question, man. I should have that. I don't know. I'll find out for you, though. It is going to be for the Phillies, I believe Noah's going, right? No, sorry. Sanchez against Kyle Harrison. Yeah, Sanchez against Kyle Harrison for the matinee series finale. Yeah, it's another lefty. They mentioned that in the broadcast tonight. There's been a higher level of left-handers that they've had to face all season. So I'll definitely keep an eye on. I'll find that information out for you. Rob kept doing bad decisions. Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. Are we really going to like this thing? I mean, again, if I'm going to be the voice of reason, then we've really kind of gone around the bend here. You guys are so damn fickle. I mean, they're still 20 games over 500. They're still like, what, 4.5, 5 games in first place. It is what it is, man. They're going to hit these skids. You guys got to kind of control yourselves a little bit. I mean, talk about getting way too up and then way too down. You got to find a happy medium. I'm not a big Rob Thompson fan myself, but come on, man. Why do these guys like wheels? I can't tell what the kind of future offense in this stats. Now, listen, he pitched well tonight. I mean, he pitched shut. He didn't give up any runs. Struck out 9. Phillies pitching though did give up 5 walks, and that was a little concerning as well. 5 walks tonight was very concerning, but he only gave up 2 of them. So listen, Chris Wheeler. Just called him Chris Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's a good pitcher, all right, and he's well worth the money that we spent. Zach Wheeler is a commodity in this league that a lot of teams would like to have. A guy who picks up the ball every 5th day, no matter what. Same thing with Aaron Nola. I mean, you want to bag on Nola, you can, but the fact that every 5th day he picks up the ball, it's a commodity in this league that a lot of teams, a lot of teams don't undervalue. A lot of fans undervalue it, but a lot of teams don't. And I'm okay with what Zach Wheeler did tonight. I am. Yeah, he did. I agree. What was it, 73 mile an hour? Like, what was it? He pitched a 73 mile an hour slider to Bryce Harper that broke really inside. I think Harper just overswang. I mean, just completely misread their pitch and looked like a fool. It was like in the 7th inning. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Are we really letting Spencer Howard upstage us? It was a 73 mile an hour slider and it broke way in. First of all, it was outside the strike zone. And Harper was swinging wildly, and he missed wildly. So yeah, you're right, man. You're right. I don't know. Elephant room. I can't explain this. I mean, this team was doing so much better, and even with all the struggles lately, They're still batting 283 with runners in scoring position. I'll take that over what they've done in the past. I'll take that. But you're right. It's frustrating to see it. And at one point, why isn't the dugout saying, guys, just like take a deep breath. It's Spencer Howard, for God's sakes. Wait for your damn pitch. But Nick Castellanos, another reason why he needs to sit, because that guy would be swinging at pitches in the stands if he could. All right, that's how deep into his head he is right now. So you're right, though. It's very concerning and very frustrating. He lost his. Dave Dombrowski has to move on from Casty. Is Tobias Harris? Okay, Jonathan. You might be right, but what and who and how are you going to move on from him? All right, he's got 2 more years. What? No, he's got this year. He's got 3 more years to include this year left on his contract. Who are you dumping him off to? What's he getting, like 17 mil a year? Is that what it is? Like 15, 16 mil a year? Who are you dumping that off to for a guy batting 199 who really has been struggling for the last 3 seasons? Who are you dumping him off on? Who's taking him off your hand? It's not as easy as it sounds. It's really not. And you're not going to be able to package him either. So I agree that right now, and I was actually from the very beginning of this, and I'm talking 2022 beginning, he hasn't really worked out. I'll give you that. It hasn't been a good signing up to this point. But if you got the magic recipe on how you're going to get rid of him with his contract and the amount of money, you please let Dave Dombrowski know it, because I don't think he does. Because it's pretty much damn near impossible to get rid of him based on the money and the years left on his deal. He's got this year 25 and 26 on his contract. So I don't know, man. If you could find a way, that's great. But yeah. I don't know it. What's the record against submariners? What are you guys talking about? Like, what, sidearm pitchers? How do I know, man? They keep that stat? I'm fine now, but it turns into a 10-game losing streak, then heads should roll. Jeff, chill, man. Chill. 10-game losing streak. That would be horrible. But heads won't roll because they're not going to do that. They're not going to panic. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. And they're going to chalk this up to the baseball gods. I think you're going a little bit off the edge there with 10 games. 10 games obviously is something we got to talk about. But did everybody think it was going to be this easy? We were going to just roll right on through the schedule? No, man, we weren't. And I'm glad they're going through. I'd rather them go through this now in May than in September. Come on, remember that. Remember what the big picture here is, right? They got off to a horrible start of the season. And I remember you guys back then. What, game 4? It was fire everybody when they were like 1-3 or whatever, 1-4, 2-4, whatever they were to start the season. And then it all went away because they were winning. But baseball's not like that, man. Baseball is not like that. Talk to the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates and ask them what baseball's like. Both those teams were in first place or near first place the last 2 years in the first half and then fell apart. So talk to them about it. It's a marathon, man. You can't get too high up. You can't get too far down. You got to keep even keeled. And again, if I am the one telling you this, God damn, guys, you need some help, man, because I am not the one to be giving rational advice to people. This is me you're talking about. I'm not trained in that area. All right? So we gotta take it one game at a time. I don't think people are necessarily panicking with the losses. I think they may be concerned about Thompson's judgment, starting with Taijuan Walker and Castellanos, making people lose confidence. Listen, if you're losing confidence in Thompson's decision-making process here in 2024, and more importantly, if people are losing confidence in Rob Thompson's decision-making process in 2024, then I'm saying you guys haven't been watching Rob Thompson. I mean, I lost confidence in his decision-making process the minute friggin' Jake Cave stepped out on the field in Game 7 of the NLCS last year, and actually way before that. Rob Thompson's a terrible in-game decision maker. He's terrible. Nothing short of terrible. All right, and then you factor in the problems of the problem with Castellanos. But we talked about this. I think me and Al did the other night. What are you going to do with him? You can't send him down. You're not going to sit him for an extended period of time. You can't trade him, and you're not going to cut him because he's going to be a huge cap hit. You got no other recourse but to try to play him out of this. And I'm not saying it's the right thing it's the most popular thing to do, but it's the only thing you can do with him. But there does come a point where you just got to be like, enough's enough. But The only thing to do with Castellanos is to play him until he figures it out, because he's making a lot of money to be sitting down. He's making a lot of money. He's not going to go to the minors. He doesn't have minor league option. Then he's going to go through waivers, and he's going to get picked up and get plucked away for nothing. So what would you want this? What's the magic elixir for Nick Castellanos? Yeah, I agree. It's time to sit him. But anything other than that, what else is there? Tell me. I want to hear it, but I don't know of another way through this. And Rob Thompson did the right thing by playing him. Now it's getting a little bit too much, but what else could he have done? But yeah, I mean, I hear you about the decision making issue. Rob Thompson is terrible in game decision making. Terrible. I'm going to panic. This is Philly, Yeah. Well, you listen. I get it, man. But yeah. Okay. Dave will figure out concerning Cassie. It has to be done. I don't know what he's going to figure out. I don't know what he's going to figure out, man. I really don't. I really don't. But yeah. All right, everybody. Let's head over now. Let's go back and take a look at some round the bases, because there was some bunch of games tonight. As of course we are the only game, or the last game of the night. So let's head on around the bases. All right, this is the round the bases for this beautiful Wednesday morning. These games have all gone final, obviously. It was 5-2 Dodgers over the Mets out there in New York in 10 innings, actually. It was 8-3 Red Sox over the Orioles, 7-1 Cardinals over the Reds, 3-0 A's over the Rays, 2-0 Braves over the Nationals, 6-3 Cubs over the Brewers, 4-2 Twins over Royals, 3-0 Dodgers over Mets, which was game 2 because they had that rain out yesterday, so they make it up. It was 7-2 Blue Jays over the White Sox, 4-2 Rangers over the Diamondbacks, 13-7 Cleveland over the Rockies, 4-3 Angels over the Yankees, and 4-2 Mariners over the Astros. And it was 4-0 Padres over Marlins, and the Pirates and Tigers were rained out. And I don't know of any makeup scheduled. So there you have your round the bases on this beautiful Wednesday morning in late May. And that was brought to you by the good folks at Dolan's. PJ and the crew head down to Dolan's at 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park. Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia giveaways, and you never know who may fall through the front door at Dolan's. And then also remember, for all your workman's compensation, your motor vehicle accidents, your personal injury, or your criminal law, call Dave Cherry at 610-565-0300, and he will put you on the path to righteousness. And then after that, I'll put you on the path to Sherry's Tickets, because that's where you'll go for your sports, concerts, and theater tickets at www.sherrystickets.com. Save an additional 10% with the promo code EOP10. Great prices and no hidden fees. What you see is what you pay. Bottom line, head over to the Sherry's today. So, all right. 1-0 Phillies with the loss. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, Christopher Sanchez will be going for the Phillies, and he shall be opposed by, where was it? I had it up here, by Kyle Harrison. Is a 3:45 start out there in Oracle. Phillies will try to get off the damn schneid, man. 0-8 since 2022 in San Francisco, as they'll try to salvage a game. And we got you covered here on the Fighting's Final. Mike got you tomorrow early evening, as he'll bring you the series finale. Day off on Thursday, and then back at it on Friday at home against the Cardinals. That means the City Connect uniforms will be in full effect on Friday night. Yippee. God, I hate those things. Let's figure out some more of these things. Yep. Atlanta won. That's all that matters. Now, what's all that matters, Jonathan, is the Phillies lost. It doesn't matter what Atlanta won. It doesn't matter what the Yankees did. It doesn't matter what anybody else did. All that matters is the Phillies lost. Okay? Let's get some perspective. All right. One last time. Don't forget also Philly Sports Trips, right? They got you covered. If you want to travel like the pros, if you want to travel like the teams that you love with a bunch of like-minded individuals, look no further than Philly Sports Trips, because they will have you covered. Trips out to Baltimore on Father's Day weekend. A trip to Chicago over the Independence Day weekend. They're going to Boston. They're going to Pittsburgh. They're going to London for the Phillies. And then they got you covered for the Eagles, Sixers, and the Flyers as well when those seasons are in bloom. So make sure you head over to Philly Sports Trips at www.phillysportstrips.com today. All right. Sorry. 1-0. 1-0. Just really a concerning stretch of games for the Phillies over the past, 6 games, 5 games right now. Just going to give you some stats to kind of put you to bed in a good mood, right? Over the last 2 games, or I should say over the last 3 games, the Phillies are 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. They have also really starting to pile up on the errors too. 35 errors now through 56 games. Walks by the pitching staff. This was something that the Phillies were really doing something good with. It's kind of struggled over the last 5 games. Now they are up to an amazing 17 walks over the last 5 games. So again, it's not really hard to kind of pinpoint some of these struggles here. They are now up to, they've left how many runners on base? They've left 387 runners on base. They're closing in on 7 a game of stranding runners on base. And as I mentioned, their runners of scoring position batting average is now down to 283. But still, I will take that. And as they fall to 38-18 on the season, 18-7 now for the month of May. Again, these are numbers that I will accept, though, based on what has happened in the past. But it is definitely a frustrating loss tonight. I feel your frustrations. I really, really do. I feel your frustrations, guys. I truly do, man. I truly do. Put Whit in right field and give him this Cassidy. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know what Whit Merrifield is going to do the offense, but that's not why I would want to give Cassidy the day off. He's got to get the day off just to have a damn day off. He's just played way too much, too ineffectively, and it's time to sit him. Whit Merrifield is going to bring his 175 batting average to bear. That's not really you're not really replacing him for a better player. It's just a matter of just replacing him. I agree, Dave. He needs to sit. I've been saying it for the last, 30 games now that Castellanos needs to sit. He's just not right. And there's no denying that right now. And playing him every night is just an exercise in futility right now. It really is. The Phillies' loss is why I mentioned Atlanta before long. They might be 5 games back. Yeah, they might be. But here's the beautiful part about it there, Jonathan. Here's the glorious part about that. It's May, right? It's not September. It's May. And the Braves are down a lot, right? Okay, let's keep this thing in perspective. We are literally, 40 games from the All-Star break? I mean, a lot of baseball left to play until we even get to the halfway point to begin with. The season doesn't get started till then anyway, right? I mean, are we in agreement to that? It's all about padding wins at this point, and the Phillies are not doing that right now. I'll give that to you. But I am not ready to sell it all or burn the boats because of a 4-game losing streak in late May to the Colorado Rockies and San Francisco Giants. It's just not going to happen. I think we're better than that. The Phillies are better than that. The season's got a bazoodle amount of games left. So I feel your pain. I feel your frustrations. I know what you're feeling. But that's what baseball is. Baseball's not 16 games. It's not, it's not 82 games. It's friggin' 162. It's a whole other animal. And you got to just hold on sometimes and weather these moments. Enjoy the good ones. Really enjoy them because they're not necessarily going to stay forever. You're going to go into the bad times. And we're in there now, right? 4-game losing streak. But the positives are we're going to get out of San Francisco tomorrow, hopefully with a win. We're going to get home. We got the Cardinals, Brewers, and Mets coming up, right? Listen, it is what it is. We got to face who we got to face. And we got to just go out and start winning games again. And I think the first thing is we got to start scoring runs. They got to play with a lead for once. Let's do that for kind of, S and giggles. So I don't know. I get it though. I get your frustration, but it's not time to call for Rob Thompson's job. That'll be in a month. That'll be in a month when they're not hitting in June. And then that's when you can call for Rob Thompson's job. But I listen, I'm the first one to do it when it's applicable. I'll call for it. I hate him. I don't think he's a good manager at all. I really don't. The bullpen by committee thing, right? Tonight, I got to give him credit, though. He kind of pulled the right strings there. He really did. But there you have it. Phillies lose 1-0 in 10 innings. And that's going to wrap me up, man. I am tired. I want to go to bed. Remember, everybody, this is our schedule here on the Edge of Philly Sports. We got you covered. Here in about 7 hours, we're going to rev this thing back up again with Trending in the AM. And then everything else that we have to offer for you on Wednesday. You can see it down there in the big blue lettering. And, of course, we got you covered here on the Fighting's Final. We're going to be coming at you a little early tomorrow around that 7 o'clock time. We're going to may have to kind of squeeze between press box radio there, but we'll figure that out as we get closer to showtime. But make sure you're checking everything we have to offer here on the Edge of Philly Sports, because if you can't find it here, then you just really aren't looking hard enough. And I agree with that. So until we talk again tomorrow, you guys have yourself a great rest of your night, a great Wednesday, and let's go Phils.